Hey, how's it going, guys? Raisins here, back with another video, and today I am going to teach you guys about the 3-point checklist, specifically what I do in-game in the first 10 to 15 minutes to ensure that a good play goes great and that a bad play gets avoided, or I notice that it's a bad play before I pull the trigger. So, by the end of this video, you'll be able to do this in your own games and hopefully start practicing and speeding it up. It will take you a little bit of time at first, but by the end of a few weeks of practice, hopefully, you will be able to do it in under a second and guarantee yourself a good play coming out of laning phase. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I enjoy hearing your thoughts about my videos, and without further ado, let's go. All right, the 3 steps to avoiding bad plays and ensuring good plays in lane. What is it that I do before I make every single aggressive play in League of Legends in-game that allows me to avoid these bad situations? Well, it's really simple. And you start with number 1. I'm sure everyone would guess this. Where is the enemy jungler? And I'll show you guys a couple of examples from this clip that I've got ready to go. But where is the enemy jungler? It is that simple. Where are they? You just double check. If you don't know, you make an educated guess. And if you're wrong on that educated guess, we'll come back to that at the end of the video about how you can refine your thought process using your hypothesis, your theory. By the end of your game, you'll have figured out whether or not your educated guess was actually an educated guess, or you were working with wrong information. Cool, so number 1 is jungle. Number 2, so what are we doing with the rest of the map? Well, we're looking at TPs. That's the big one. That's the really, really big one. I can sort of shove a side note onto this. So mid lane, top lane usually take TPs, but you can also kind of stick on the side mid lane roam. It's very similar to mid lane's TP, but you should double check the state of mid lane and top lane. That's all I'm trying to say. Just hover over mid lane, have a quick look at the lane, be like, is this a possible gank opportunity for enemy Sylas? Could enemy Sylas just walk bot lane while we're fighting or going for whatever play it is you're going for? So that's simple. Number 2 is you check TPs and then you check the state of mid lane. It's kind of a hybrid. And then number 3, it's very, very simple, but before you pull the trigger, you check enemy sums again. Now, if you think you can make a play, usually it's because the enemy AD carry or support doesn't have flash and you feel stronger, or you feel stronger just because the nature of your champions. So you maybe already know this, but it is very important you double check this. You make sure that, okay, yes, AD carry has no flash. Why? Because a lot of my coaching sessions, I have seen a tremendous amount of failed plays or missed opportunities simply because we're not keeping track of enemy AD carry flash. It's like you can start with just looking at that one summoner. There are so many missed opportunities because we are not aware that, hey, the enemy AD carry doesn't have this summoner. And either in a 2v2, they manage to, scare you away because you think they have flash, or you don't play the fight correctly, expecting them to flash, or you use your spells in a different way, which is suboptimal. So those kind of things come up in my coaching sessions quite a lot. But that being said, we have the 3 steps. It's literally that simple. I check jungle, I check TPs, and then I double check the enemy sums. And I do this every time I make a proactive play. So we're going to quickly run through how I create a proactive play here in this game to try and show you guys how we can use these 3 steps to snowball your laning phase. So as you can see, we are coming back from base. There was a little bit of skirmishing in the bot lane, and my Kalista, not Kai'Sa. My Kalista actually has 2 kills. Enemy AD carry also has 2 kills. So technically speaking, they're even in items, but we are slightly ahead in XP. So how am I going to push this lead? Well, the first thing I can look at is the minimap. As always, you check the minimap to double check before you go make a crazy play. So Sylas has based, and I know that Sylas used TP. I'm keeping track of it, and I'm pretty sure that in the chat, it was pinged here. So as you can see, my Ryze pinged it. If your teammates don't ping it, try your best to ping it if you see it. If you were a bot laner or if you're a top laner and you see enemy mid lane TP, just ping it in chat. You don't need to worry about the specific timer, but this is really useful because then you can press Z, scroll up and be like, right, Sylas TP'd, in a play 2 minutes down the line, and you don't have to memorize every single TP timer. So I know Sylas has no TP. I know enemy jungle location, and that's already 2 steps out of 3. The only other issue is Gwen TP. Okay, and this is a realistic issue because Gwen has a pushing wave away from her. So in theory, she doesn't really want to TP, because if she just TPs away right now, and then Viego just holds the wave and just freezes, it's bad for her. So in my mind, I don't think she can TP, but there is a world in which I don't know her TP timer because it hasn't been pinged, and I'm a little wary of it. But keep in mind, she's a level 4 Gwen with no flash, and my Kalista has flash. I'm a lot less scared of Gwen than I am of, the Tristana or the Leona actually getting help from Sylas. Sylas is much more terrifying as a TP opportunity level 4 than Gwen is. So anyway, I've double checked jungle, I've double checked TP, and now what I'm doing right now, just before I play the clip, is I'm double checking summoners. It's that simple. I just double check sums. I know Leona has no flash. Her flash is pretty much the same time as mine. I know that Tristana has no exhaust because we just used it in a fight roughly the same time. As you can see, Kalista has no cleanse. So I know those timers, but I'm aware that Tristana has flash. I know that Tristana has flash. So just play this clip out and I'll show you guys how we go about punishing. And I can even zoom out a tiny bit so you can see the whole lane. So I know that I can go for this hook. I know this is a very aggressive hook and it's also pretty straightforward. You know, we're just stronger than them. We can punish. This isn't really the aggressive play that I'm looking for because we wanted to do more than this. So we immediately call our jungler. You can see me kind of setting up the wave, and the Trundle is bot lane, and he notices, and we ping, and we start hard pushing. Now, I can fast forward this. This is pretty straightforward stuff. My Trundle ends up flashing for Tristana, and Tristana dies with flash. That was just a misplay by her, and then Trundle ends up dying. But here's where I apply the concept once again, and I don't stop right here and just be happy with what I want. As you can see, pause the game, think about what would you do in this situation. Okay, take a look at the minimap. I'll flip to our vision. Take a look at the minimap and think about, okay, what would I do if I was in Kalista or Nautilus' situation? Well, if I play it out at like 1x speed, that's the key point. The key point is the jungle shows. So I actually don't do the jungle TP flash checklist here until jungle shows on the map. But as soon as jungle shows on the map, that, you know, that ticks one of the boxes for me making an aggressive play ball lane. And I instantly start looking at the other two options. Okay, so then I double check TPs in my head. And I played this game yesterday, I believe. So, you know, this is, or day before yesterday. So this is all fresh in my mind. And I know Sylas still has no TP. And Gwen is not going to TP away when her jungler's here. Okay, that's just not a reliably good play for her, in my opinion. When they're going for this gank, they will be busy and Gwen can't TP. Cool. So that's jungle, that's TP. What's the next thing? Tristana flash. Okay, well, Tristana has flash. If Tristana walks past this point in the lane, I don't care about her flash or not. My AD carry will follow with her flash. And she's Kalista. She'll chase Tristana down. So, cool. What is the only other unknown in this game? Leona, if Leona shows bot lane. Do I care if Leona shows bot lane? Personally, no, because I want to fight behind Tristana's tower. So we'll just see exactly what I do. But, you know, as soon as we see Xin Zhao top, I go for the hook. And, I mean, Tristana's, like, you know, she's having a bad game, it seems. She's not paying attention, and she gets punished. But that one play, you know, we started even in terms of gold, 80 carry-wise. Roughly, and now we are almost 30 CS up, and we've taken 3 plates. The game is now over, and from this point onwards, me and Kalista basically just snowballed the game, and it's just Tristana just can't play the game. It did get a bit messy because it's solo queue, and you can see there's a bajillion kills here, but this is the key point that I wanted to focus on. So the whole point of this video is to show you guys that if you do this consistently and diligently, and you're not like slacking out on one of these steps, your plays will become much more reliable. And I know this sounds quite basic, and maybe some of you have gotten to this point in the video and you're thinking, like, that's such an easy thing to think about. But if you watch one of your replays and you look at your deaths, I guarantee you've missed one of these steps. And if you make it muscle memory, those kind of unnecessary, unforced deaths will start to disappear from your gameplay. And here's another little secret just from, you know, me to you. Don't tell anybody else. But my worst part of this checklist, or the part of the checklist that I am the worst at actually implementing, is the TPs. I get caught by TPs a fair amount. I'm a rather aggressive player. So it is something that every single player, no matter how good you are, how high elo you are, needs to work on, okay? Because you will, like, tunnel vision on a play, you will forget about enemy mid lane TP, you will forget about the enemy support roaming, potentially, this kind of stuff. So just as a side note, if you're top laner, you know, when you're checking the jungle, you're checking the jungle, mid, support, because those are all the 3 people that could show up in your lane. So if enemy support has been missing for a really long time and you're very pushed up as a top, you need to start taking responsibility for that. Don't just rely on your bot lane ping missing. If you want to climb in solo queue, that's your job as well to check the enemy support's location. But after all of this, you know, like, how do you actually implement this in your reviews? And there's one really simple way I would suggest you guys just go about it. If you do watch your own games, which I would, you know, start suggesting you do from like maybe platinum and above. If you're a gold player and below, just be careful about how you critique yourself, because sometimes it can get a bit like maybe you don't know what you're looking at, or you're focusing on the wrong aspects of the game. but I would recommend that every time you die, and this is very similar to what Coach Curtis says in his video about bronze, silver, and gold, every time you die, you figure out what category of death it is. Is it a solo kill? Is it a jungle gank? Is it because you mechanically misplayed? Is it because you tunnel visioned? What type of death is it? And then you can attribute that to either you didn't do the checklist, or you did do the checklist, but you forgot about TP. And then you can move on to more relevant things. So you can use your kind of death recap, if you would call it that, as a way to categorize where you're dying and fix the kind of consistent death that you're having. Because a lot of the time when I look at players from kind of silver to platinum elo range, they have a very, very consistent pattern of deaths, which they are, not addressing. Either it's a skirmishing death, or, so like a laning death, or they just ignore the jungle, something like that. And you can start to target, like, okay, I'm getting ganked by the jungle a lot, so I need to start thinking about the jungle before I go for the 2v2 bot lane or the mid lane 1v1. And I need to think about the consequences of that. And it's really simple. That's all it is. It's really not rocket science. You just got to figure out what you're doing consistently wrong. And yeah, at the end of the day, it'll take a little bit of work because you got to look at your replays, but I'm sure you can do it. Not very difficult. Just basically pan to the speed forward to the areas where you die a lot. That's it. Job done. Just look at where you died and be like, did I do the checklist? Did I not do the checklist? But anyway, hopefully that was useful, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be making more videos like this with short, small, bite-sized tips for people to slowly improve at League of Legends. And if you enjoyed these videos, I stream every night, 8 p.m. UK time on Twitch. So you can come by, you can ask me questions, and you can even get free VOD reviews. If you watch my stream long enough, you can redeem points, and I will give you a 30-minute VOD review for free. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and comment below if you want any other tips or tricks, or you got parts of the game you have questions about. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. And yeah, good luck in solo queue. Peace.